everybody, aka Queen Goddess Hope, and you're now tuned in to another episode of your self-care rituals. Today I just want to encourage everybody to stop living in fear and start elevating and getting their minds right for what's about to come. I'm learning that a lot of supermarkets are losing employees, so therefore the shelves are not being stocked appropriately or as quickly as we have liked them to be. So that means that things are about to start getting weird, dangerous, if you will. I just want to really encourage everybody to make sure you're getting out and get as much vitamin D as possible. Make sure that you're exercising. Make sure that you're educating yourself. Even if it means that you're not starting a new business, to make sure you're keeping some type of income in the house. But make sure that you're getting your soul fed. Make sure that you're no longer watching Netflix all fucking day, because that shit is so stupid. Don't do that. Make sure you're elevating your spirit, because this is the time to elevate your spirit. It's about to be a major battle out here. You really think that they're going to open up outside again? Right now, they're going to do that? It hasn't even reached all of America yet, because of course that has to be the plan. You know what I mean? You just gotta stay one step ahead, and that's really what the goal has to be. We have to understand what type of people we're coming up against, and as a collective we have to rise up and be together as one to know that this is where we're headed. We're headed to a battle, and it's just like the Bible says, King of the North, King of the South, two people are gonna rise up. And that's exactly what's going to happen. People are going to rise up and they're going to either sink or swim. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Your dreams are going to get crazier. I know mine are bonkers right now. And my intuition is spot on right now. I'll think of somebody and in seconds these people will reach out or contact, email, text, something. It is like this right now. You want to be that in tune with what's going on. I took 2 salt baths this past week, and it's just to release the toxins and release this energy. Anytime I hear COVID or someone passing or someone's in the hospital, it's just like I don't even know how to respond anymore, because there are people that are passing away from this that shouldn't be passing away, bro. Like, this shit was a mission. You hear me? Don't fall into the trap. Please stay ready. Please make sure you're getting yourself mentally prepared for what's about to come. Make sure that you're understanding what chakras are. Make sure you're stretching. Make sure you're working out. Make sure you're physically fit. Like, this shit is all happening, bro. If you're a woman, make sure you're getting yoni steams. Make sure you're definitely taking salt baths. Make sure you're getting your energy and courage. Make sure you're freaking no longer worried about these fuck boys. Like, who cares about a man, bro? Like, if you're not jumping on, bye. Like, I'm gonna explain how I feel one time and that's it. I'm never gonna beg anybody to be with me, and neither should you. And that goes for men too. Like, what do you mean you want to be dotting and botting outside? Go, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not to sit here to call anybody a bitch, but go. Why do you have to beg anybody to be with you? You know what I mean? Like, who cares? You're not the only fucking human on earth. Like, bye. This is Noah's Ark type of time. Like, what are we talking about? Either we're going to be together or we're not. Either we're going to elevate together or we're not. Either we're going to rise up together as a collective or we're not. Either you're going to decide to get your life together or you're not. Either you're going to decide to live in fear or you're not. Like, do I have to keep going? It's time to start your own business. It's time to elevate with your spiritual family. It's time to reach out to those people in your circle who have been trying to get you to see what their business plans are. It's time to reach out to those people who have the capital but you don't. It's time to reach out to the people who have the ideas but you have the capital. Like, it's time to come together and fuck shit up. It's time to educate yourself so we know what type of game we're playing right now. I always said as a kid, and it's crazy because I was talking to B yesterday and he was saying like, yo, do you remember when you used to always say there's only going to be 2 classes, rich or poor? I'm like, facts. I've been saying this shit for like decades, bro. Like, plural decades, like since I was a kid. I literally prophesied all of this shit, like literally prophesied all of this stuff. I used to always say that to my parents, like, it's only going to be 2 classes. I don't want to live in America. I want to have a house in Cali and some land, but that's it. I don't want to live here. I always said I don't want to live here. And it was almost like I've been here before and knew that they do this all the time. You know, in my past life, I was told that I was like a shaman. And at one point I had to hide, you know, in almost like in quarantine to heal people. And it's like the more I learned about my family history last year, the more I started appreciating and the more I started respecting the fact that that may have been true. And now it's like I have these dreams and I see things in my dreams and it's like, okay, they're memories, you know, that are suppressed in my DNA that I've lived through, you know, over different lifetimes. And it's like, now that I'm here, I know what I have to do. Now that I'm here, I have a mission. I don't care if fucking 3 people view this YouTube video. Like, I'm so sick of analytics on YouTube. Oh, you're 17% down. I don't care, bro. I am here to talk to who needs to be listened. Like, whatever that, you know what the hell I'm trying to say. But whoever needs to listen is going to be able to hear me and be under the sound of my voice. Because you have to elevate and that's it. Like, I refuse to allow people to sink, but I can't help everybody. You have to want to help yourself. I can only feed you with the information. You know what I mean? Like, last year, I was struggling, bruh. Like, I was like, I'm turning 33 and I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to. I'm like, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna live here, I'm gonna do this. I always said I wanted to live in Cali, so that's what I did. I drove clear across the country just to see how it would be to live in Cali. I said I was gonna go live in New York City, and that's exactly what I did for a couple months, from May to July. And then I went to Cali in August and came back here in October to Jersey. And now that I'm here, I'm like, why did I come here? What brought me here? Why am I here again? And I almost feel like I was supposed to be here to relive this entire situation out so that people can be educated about being free. You have to want to be free in order to be free. You guys complained about work so much. You actually went to work complaining about work, about how much you wanted to be home. And now that you're actually home, you're complaining that you don't want to fucking be there. Are you retarded? Sorry for the word. Oh, God. Somebody's going to flag me or be offended now. So crazy. But don't be slow. Like, don't contradict everything. Your job that you thought was certain is not. And now nobody wants to join on to different marketing companies or different things and hustles to make money. I've been telling people for how many years to get in your own bag, bro. It's like, I don't even know what else to say anymore. I just really need to encourage all the men, all the women to tap into your spiritual powers, to tap into who it is. If you're a high priest or a high priestess, you know, if you want to consider yourself a god or a goddess, if you want to actually be called king or queen, call yourself that. We are all kings and queens. Like, I don't understand who decided to dumb me down, but that shit is not happening anymore, bro. Those days are dead. I changed my name on Instagram from my business name to Queen Goddess Hope because that's who I felt like I was. And I am that. You're not going to tell me that I'm not a queen. Like, who the fuck are you? I would change my whole birth certificate to that shit if I want to. Like, what do you mean? I got to put it in a newspaper for you to tell me that I don't want to change my name. You changed my name without me wanting to change my name. My ancestors have no freaking history in any of your census books. What? Y'all was straight changing people's names, telling them where to live, what to do, how to work, Are you tired yet? Are you tired yet? But yet you want to still complain about being home after you complained at being... So where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? That's the question of the day. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be at work or do you want to be at home? Do you want somebody to raise your children, or do you want to raise your own children? Do you want to actually stop poisoning yourself with all this takeout food, or do you want to cook for yourself? What do you want to do? Don't get me wrong, I love to partake and eat out whenever I feel like it, but I've been cooking for myself for at least the last 3 years, bro. Like, I love to cook, and I'm grateful for sitting in the kitchen with my mom, you know, and my dad, or watching my grandparents. Like, I enjoy the fact that I was able to do that this whole time in this lifetime. You know what I mean? There are so many things that are instilled within us that we lost. This is the time to get your DNA going and revive it, yo. Like, listen to those 528 hertz of music. Listen to things that are going to spark you to grow into this amazing spiritual enlightenment force of being that you are. Be the center of your universe. Be the center of who it is that you know that you are. Be you. My brand was Be Unique for 6 years prior to QGH Holdings, but it's like, that doesn't die. That's how I started. Be as unique as your fingerprint. I don't want to be like a robot. That shit was, I almost killed myself, literally into mental death. Like, I was losing it. How can you be PTSD, have generalized anxiety disorder? What else did they say? I don't know. I had 3 different mental issues, apparently. And it was all from trauma. Because I'm suppressing all of this information. You feel like nobody understands what you're going through, but yet we're all sitting in these 4 walls. We're cursing everybody out. We're yelling all day. That's trauma. Our kids don't deserve to grow up like that. Our kids don't deserve to be taught by their school teachers, and then they come home and they're, you know, expected to be treated the same exact way that their teachers show them love, and now their parents are just home yelling at them all day long. We have to stop that. Stop giving these kids trauma, bro. I'm thankful that I didn't grow up like that, where it was non-stop all day, but it was there. You know what I mean? And even the little bit that I was exposed to was still too much. I remember every single teacher that I had, bro. Every single one. I can name them. Because these people make lasting impressions, and I think our teachers don't gain the respect that they're supposed to, because they're just there for 1 year or 8 months, however long kids are in school, and then they go away. And that sucks. We need to give them more respect, and we need to pay them for what they are doing, because they're not appreciated. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, some teachers are definitely jerks, but there are a large portion of teachers who are raising your kids, and then your kids don't even want to be around you. You know what I mean? Like, don't be like that, because kids have feelings too. They're smarter than you think. They're closer to source than anything else. And these are imprinting years, yo. From like 5 to 7, those are imprinting years, like where they take in everything, and their entire personalities are going to be made by those several years. You know what I mean? So if you have a child that's between those ages, like, we really have to take heed to what it is that they're learning and what they're seeing, because they're smarter, especially right now, bro. Technology has made these kids smarter than I don't even know. They literally have like at least a 10 to 15 year leg up on mad people right now at like 7. You know what I mean? Like, they're just so smart. My little sister is 3 years old. They're saying, like, sometimes people think that she's like 5 or 6 because she's just so smart, and other people's children don't even speak like that or do those things. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show you that this is just going to be a constant thing. So even us as 20-something, 30-something, 40-something year olds watching this video, you know, 50-year-olds, we need to now adjust to the times, and we need to also adjust to what it is that we're, you know, blessing them with as well. I just really want to say thanks to everybody who's been on the check-in and encouraging me to keep recording these random ass videos. Sometimes I try to be like real feng shui-ish and come out with all these thumbnails and things be perfect, and sometimes that's not what it's about. Sometimes you just need to put out the information, and sometimes you just need to encourage people because that's what they need to hear. But I'm not here to really encourage you today. I'm really here to just tell you that I made some callaloo, and I really just want to eat it right now. I just was on Thai Day's yoga live stream on Instagram, and I have like 2 conference calls after this, so I really just want to get off. But please, 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 I'm begging you, don't live in fear. This is not the time. This is really the time to get your body, I meant to say your body, mind, and soul aligned, because that's really all that's left, fam. All right, so I will chat with you soon. Adios. Y'all not gonna be able to see me, and that's fine. I just want to come on here and rap, though. Honestly, I was just listening to Sir and Kendrick Lamar, and it was like, would you believe me if I... Oh, I missed the words up in my head. If I take off my coat, would you promise to stay? If I gave you my heart, would you throw it away? Would you believe me if you tell me you love me? I don't remember. I'm already tweaking, but I think there's a lot of people who are in love right now with people who don't love them back, but really love them back, like high-key friend. And for what, though? That's the scarier part. I think that people have been so hurt traumatically that they forget that we need love and they need love too. I think we're obsessed with looking for the perfect person and somebody to meet majority of our needs, when 9 times out of 10 our needs are met by us. But whatever. I think that everybody needs a partner in crime, PIC. And it's like, sometimes we don't even understand what that means because we've been hurt so bad by our parents. And I don't know if this is like Armageddon or apocalyptic type shit happening right now. My palm is itching, sorry, excuse. But it's like we have to get to a point where we're just embracing and basking in that energy of love, because we don't even know what it feels like. And I'm speaking for self as well, because it's like I've had my fair share of relationships and situationships and whatever I thought could have been love. And because I now understand that it had nothing to truly do with me, it was just people reflecting themselves upon me. You know, perception is everything. And I have to pay that respect to my ex-fiance, because he made sure that I sat down and looked at this Excel sheet that he created called perceptive, or something of another, but it was along those words. And he made sure that I sat down with him week after week, and he did his part. I can't even front, but I just was in a state of, I'm not ready for this right now, because he was kind of being controlling, and I didn't want to be controlled at that point in time in my life. I was 26, young, wild, and free. I didn't give a fuck about nothing. But I knew I wanted love. And at the end of the day, that's really what we're all calling out for, some type of form of love. It may not be in the box that we thought it would be. It may not be in the box that we said it would be. It may not even be in the box that we recognize, because 9 times out of 10, it's not in a recognizable box. It's not fucking pretty and bowed out to death in our favorite color wrapping, or with our favorite action figure, or fucking Tiffany blue, whatever the fuck that hue may be that you desire. But it's what that person felt like they thought that you would love. And again, there goes that word love. I think about Jay-Z's 444 album and how that shit was beyond fire. You know what I mean? And we knew that it had something to do with his wife, and a lot of it had something to do with his wife, and the fact that these two people could create their best form of love, aka art, for one another to heal from their broken relationship. That lets you understand and know that love is the ultimate superpower. There are mad people I know who I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? On everything I love. And it's just like, two people just have to be ready to heal themselves and just submit to love. At the end of the day, you just have to submit to it. At the end of the day, you just have to submit to it. Because you submitting to a form of love is going to be epic. It's going to allow you to project yourself on somebody who's going to project that shit back on you, who's going to make you think like, shit, was I supposed to say that? Was I supposed to do that? Yo, I have no more left in the cup. Damn. But love does some funny shit to you, bruh. I deadass like hurt somebody so bad, and I've never hurt somebody the way that I hurt this person. And I say that so purely because it's like, you never intend on hurting somebody, but you do what has been done to you, unfortunately. And that's just how this shit works. You do what you know. And that's what's so dope about love, because it's like we're all trying to break out of a cycle. And that's why it's so important to break generational curses, because we're all living and breathing in some form of a curse until we break out of that habit. It's like, I was just reflecting back on my childhood. Like, okay, I have to break the mold for generational wealth. You know, like my parents did whatever they had to do to get out of the hood to go to the suburbs because they felt like that was the best thing for them. You know, that was the best thing for their child at the time. And now, you know, I have 3 other sisters and a brother, and it's like, bro, I have to do what's best for them now. You know what I mean? I have to do what's best for my parents. I want to retire my parents. Like, that's my goal. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with me. It has to always do with some type of form of love. Family. Your family's going to have your back no matter what. They're the only fucking people who's going to be able to push shit aside and be like, oh, okay, whatever, fuck it. I didn't talk to this chick for 3 years, but this is family. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only person that's going to be able, those are the only people that are going to be able to get away with the shit they've done to you, which is fucked up. But they'll always be there for you. And that's what is amazing, because at the end of the day, love conquers all. And I really need everybody to get that through their fucking skulls right now. Because this is a time where love has to conquer all. And I think that's the point. Like, Mother Earth, bro. Mother Earth is so toxic right now. Think about it in this analogy. Mother Earth is so toxic right now that anything you put in the air is going to affect everything moving. So this fucking COVID disease, virus, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I don't even know. Who cares? But the Earth's atmosphere was so toxic that this thing was able to jump from an animal to a human and now spread like wildfire all over the world, just to keep people in their houses, to be able to get back to the one thing that was necessary: love. We got so consumed in status and clout and, oh, I drive this car. Oh, this person is going to this doctor, so let me go to that doctor because that's a bougie bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. No, I only shop at Whole Foods. I only shop at Whole Foods because the shit is healthier. Like, I noticed the difference in my produce as opposed to going to some other store. You know what I mean? Like, that is a status thing, yes. However, it's best for my health. You know what I mean? Like, we have to take those things into account. It's just crazy how 20 years ago shit was different, bro. Like, I was in high school living a different life. You know what I mean? And now it's like 20 years later, everything is completely different. Everything is transformed. But at the end of the day, love remains. 10-10, I just saw it. If everything else around you is starting to crumble and the one thing that remains is love, then you gotta just respect those 4 letters. You just have to respect those 4 letters, because it's gonna do something to you that you've never thought would happen. I never thought that I would fall in love with somebody and allow that shit to infect me the way that it did. And it took being in a terrible relationship, no shade, but just being funky, to realize what real love is. And that's usually how it happens. You know what I mean? And it's like, you just have to want to break the curse at some point in time. A lot of us are strong alpha females, and it's just because we lived in a society that encouraged us to come out and go get the bag. We realized that we were underpaid and underprivileged. And so we had to do what we had to do to survive. And with that survival tactic and that survival instinct became these YBEs and these chicks who actually killed everything, as TK would say. You know what I mean? Like, it forced us to be great. It forced us to be these fucking beast of independent women, and I stand in that limelight, you know what I mean? And I'm not ever gonna deny that privilege, because it is one, you know. And I'm grateful for the shadow that I was in of my mother, and I'm sure she saw the same thing with her mother. So it's like, yes, it's a cycle, but in the same token, we have to take advantage of the things that are also in front of us, which is, if you're not with a mate at this point in time, it might be a little harder. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm just reflecting because I'm 30 something and it's like, okay, bitch, things are different now. You know what I mean? But you're always going to yearn for that person who's going to make you better. Your life is always going to want certain things. You're always going to want the next best thing. You're always going to need the next best thing. And at the end of the day, you're going to do whatever you can to make sure you acquire that thing. You know? We're never going to be satisfied. But I think we're never going to be satisfied because we're lacking that one thing in our life that we need most, which is love. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who it comes from, because you can be single and get filled up with all that love that you need. But at the end of the day, everybody aspires to have that one person who's got your back so that you don't have to worry about anything else. It's like, if you can go home to your spouse and know that that person is there, you feel comforted no matter what kind of day you fucking had. That shit is different. You know what I mean? But even if you're going home to a room full of people and not being alone, that hits differently. And it's really my calling to understand that I always have somebody in my corner. Some people feel like they don't need anybody, but that's, again, their trauma reflecting back on them. I'm not trying to come back to this earth, B. I'm not trying to come back to this earth. Like, that's it. I'm done. I don't know what other planet I was on before this. I don't know if I was on this fucking planet before this. all I know is that I don't want to come back, and that's it. I'm done. Like, I just want to decide to come back or not. But once I die, like, that's it, bro. I just want to say I lived a full life, and I partied a lot. I dropped it like it's hot, like, a lot. I made some bags a lot. Like, the only thing I've never given my all to was a full-on relationship. And I felt like I gave my all to my last relationship, but because it wasn't necessarily reciprocated the way that I would have liked it to feel, because that's important. If you feel like you're getting that shit back in return, then you're Gucci. But if you feel like that shit is not being reciprocated, then you don't deserve to be there. If you feel like you're putting out more than you're receiving, then you don't need to be there. It has to be equal. And guess what? Sometimes it's not always going to be equal. And I'll definitely admit that, because we all go through different levels and states of our life where things are just not always going to be on the up and up. And some days we might give a 50% and 20% and 10%, and that other person has to give it. But as long as that shit turns back around, bro, like, we're good. Don't start off that fucking way. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of lessons that I've learned over time. And I promise the year 33 was probably my greatest year on life. Like, for the books. Like, I just lived a different type of life for age 33. And now that I'm 34, it's like, okay, I guess I'll get it back together. You know what I mean? But I needed to live that freedom. I needed to have that freedom. I needed to do all the things that I said I was wanting to do, because, you know, like, for me, every 5 years I loop. Every 5 years something major happens, and then something really traumatic happens. And it's like, now that I recognize that pattern, I'm trying to get out of that pattern. Can it be 10 years instead of 5? Like, what the fuck? You know, but it's like every 5 years something major has happened, and here we are stuck in our homes. Bro, it pisses me off that nobody's outside and it's only 8 o'clock right now. Like, why aren't more people outside taking walks and talking and conversing and living life and laughing? You know what I mean? Like, why are you in your house right now? I don't care if it's dark outside. I don't care if they told you to be in here. Nobody's going to tell you can't walk and enjoy nature for what it is. My thoughts are sucky sometimes, but I'm just fucking rebellious. I hate rules, and I don't like people telling me what to do. That's how I know I've always been a boss. Like, I can go sign up to 8. What are you gonna do? Give me a ticket? Because I want to be free? Hashtag free as fuck. Like, ugh. People drive me crazy. I'm gonna go back to listening to my music. I legit watched the sunset, but it was just pure clouds, and it was beautiful, and it was amazing, and I was happy with what I saw. And at the end of the day, people are just gonna have to be happy with what I just put out, because I don't care. People always say, like, that's a bad thing. Oh, you don't care, you don't care. I'm me. I'm me. I'm free. I'm happy. I live my life how I want to live it. And all my bills are paid. That's really all I care about. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? But just enjoy your life and live it how you're supposed to live it. Just enjoy your life and live your life how you're supposed to live it. That's really it. Just enjoy your life and live it how you're supposed to live it. Enjoy your life. Live your life how you're supposed to live it. There is no right or wrong way. If you're gonna loop and have to come back to Earth again, okay. But I'm not trying to be here again. If I've been here 6 times already, enough is enough, bro. This shit is bad. Like, there's just too much confinement. Like, there's too many rules. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I'm too smart to be confined to a box. And you are too. Fuck these niggas. Kidding me?